YouTube. Today I'll be showing you guys how to execute the conventional deadlift. The deadlift is one of the three main compound lifts, the other two being the squat and the bench press. When executed with proper form, the deadlift is very effective at strengthening and developing your posterior chain, virtually all the muscles in your back, as well as your glutes and hamstrings. If executed with improper form, the deadlift can be detrimental to your health, and injuries are likely to occur the longer you deadlift with improper form. In this video, I'll be breaking down this lift step by step for you guys so that you can safely and efficiently execute the deadlift. Make sure you thoroughly stretch your back and legs before deadlifting, and complete at least one warm-up set with a lighter weight than you use in your working sets. I also recommend wearing flat-soled shoes such as Converse or Vans, as these provide a more natural platform for your foot and maximize your power transfer. This video is the first of the compound series videos, teaching you how to safely and efficiently execute the compound lifts. Alright guys, let's begin with approaching the bar. When you are standing over the bar, you want your feet to be roughly shoulder width apart, and you want the bar to be directly over the tied knot in your shoelaces. We don't want the bar too far away from our body like shown, because this puts extra tension on our back and decreases our power throughout the lift. The farther away from your body the bar is, the more likely your back is to round, which can cause injury. When the bar is directly over the knot in your shoelaces, it's correctly centered under your body, which helps retain your power and allows you to execute the lift more efficiently. Now that the bar is properly centered under your body, let's go over gripping the bar. I'm going to go over two common grips you can use for deadlifting, and the pros and cons of each. The first grip shown is the double overhand grip. This grip is great because it evenly distributes the weight across your upper body. However, as you're moving up in weight on the deadlift, this grip becomes disadvantageous as it will become harder and harder to prevent the bar from rolling out of your fingers. The second grip, commonly used for deadlift, is one overhand, one underhand grip. With this grip, one of your hands is gripping the bar in the previous overhand position, and the other hand is gripping the bar in an underhand position. This grip is great because it is much more effective at preventing the bar from rolling out of your fingers. The hand placed in the underhand position on the bar counteracts the hand placed in the overhand position, making it much easier to securely grip the bar. The disadvantage with this grip is that it can cause imbalances in your upper body, as the weight is not as evenly distributed as with the double overhand grip. If you're using this grip, you should alternate which hand is overhand and which hand is underhand from set to set to prevent these imbalances. After you've gripped the bar, you need to make sure your hips and back are positioned correctly. Since our bodies all have different dimensions, each of us will have a starting position that looks slightly different from the next person's. These are the important fundamentals. Your hips should be placed in between the height of your knees and the height of your head. Your scapula should be directly over the bar. Notice how my arms are going straight down to meet the bar and are not angled diagonally forwards or backwards. If you centered the bar properly in the first step, this shouldn't be a problem. Finally, your back needs to be as straight as possible and not rounded. The back of your head should continue that straight line from your back and not be facing too far up or too far down. Alright, so here are some examples of bad form. As you can see here, my hips are at the height of my knees, maybe even a little bit lower. This mistake forces you to basically squat the weight up, which is not the exercise, and is bad for your back. In this example, my hips are way too high, at the height of my head. Guys, please do not make this mistake. Deadlifting like this puts almost all of the weight on your back and causes it to severely round. Do not be this person at the gym. I can guarantee you from personal experience that if you see someone deadlifting like this at the gym, you and everyone else who sees this form will resemble Michael Scott when he realizes Toby has returned to the office.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Now that we have that settled, it's time to move on to the final step before liftoff. This final step is taking the slack out of the bar. This means that you are applying just the right amount of lifting force to the bar so that the weight remains on the ground, yet when you initiate the lift, there won't be any sudden jerking movements caused by not properly taking the slack out of the bar. Notice here how the muscles in my back are flexed. This is me taking the slack out of the bar before I initiate the lift. Gently apply pushing force with your legs as well, until you reach just the right amount where the bar is just barely remaining on the ground. Here's an example of what it looks like when you don't take the slack out of the bar, resulting in you jerking the weight up to initiate the lift. Alright, so we've gone over stance, centering the bar, gripping the bar, positioning your head, scapula, back, hips, and taking the tension out of the bar. It's now time to combine all these things into initiating a proper deadlift. When you are ready to lift the weight, press your legs into the ground to initiate the lift. This part of the deadlift is where your legs really get involved. One tip I've learned for deadlifting is rather than think of pulling the weight up from the ground, think of pushing the ground away from you with your legs. It is important to keep your back straight and not rounded in this part of the deadlift as you begin to move the weight up. This first half of the lift, moving the weight from the floor to your knees, is essentially a leg press. I have talked to people before who think that the deadlift is merely a back exercise. Anyone who tells you this simply misunderstands the lift or has bad form, as they are lifting the weight entirely with their back. Once your hands have reached the height of your knees, it is time to engage your hips and back in the lift to finish the deadlift. As your hands pass your knees, thrust your hips forward and lift the weight to its peak. As you finish the lift and the weight is at its peak height, it is important to not lean back. You see a lot of people in the gym doing this, and it's not good form. Leaning back at the peak of the deadlift puts unnecessary strain on the lower back. Simply stand straight up momentarily before controlling the weight back down to the floor. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video really helps you in perfecting your deadlift form. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on how to execute the compound lifts and more in the future. And feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below. Peace.